Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights.
Well, hey, welcome into Courageous Media. And karma and poetic justice have a unique way of finding their way back to those that deserve them. So we have got breaking news on the Tish James front. Tish James is being investigated again. Now Tish James has two official DOJ investigations. You've got basically two grand juries impaneled against Tish James, one for mortgage fraud and one now against her and her office, specifically relating to the prosecution, dare I say persecution, of President Trump by Tish James' office in the Southern District of New York in Manhattan. One for the ridiculous civil suit that she brought in the guise of a criminal case for Trump supposedly committing fraud against Deutsche Bank and other banks that had their own level of due diligence responsibility in a private commercial transaction. This is just absolute gold now. So the DOJ has said not only is mortgage fraud not enough, we're also going after Tish James for her persecution of Trump in a violation of his right to free speech, his civil rights, specifically regarding the fact that she campaigned on getting him. And that's exactly what she tried to do. This is gold stuff. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks for being here. Please like, comment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you think of this. But this is that was an absolute gold clip from Mike Davis, who basically said the quiet part out loud, that Tish James is a criminal. Tish James was nothing more than an anti-Trump hack. And this is getting ever so worse for her. Check this out from Fox News as they report on the fact that Bondi has now opened up a second investigation. Great stuff.
Some breaking news sources are telling us that New York Attorney General Letitia James and her office are under investigation by the Department of Justice in relation to her case against President Trump. Justice correspondent David Spunt is in Washington. What do you know, David?
Well, hi, Dana. Two well-placed sources familiar with the probe tell Fox News that New York Attorney General Letitia James and her office is under investigation by the DOJ here in Washington. We're told that Attorney General Pam Bondi signed off on the probe. Subpoenas were sent to James's office, and there is a grand jury investigation underway in the New York State capital of Albany. The specific investigation, my colleague Jake Gibson, Ashley Oliver, and myself are being told involves deprivation of rights, which in plain language means someone in a position of legal authority violating someone else's constitutional or legal rights. Those sources tell Fox News the DOJ is going after James because she took then former President Donald Trump to court, quote, simply because she didn't like him and campaigned on getting him. DOJ, led by Bondi, believes she violated his First Amendment rights dealing with free speech. James has said before she believed Trump inflated his net worth to get good deals on loans from lenders and other financial benefits. Ms. James won in a court judgment of over $450 million against the Trump Organization. Trump is appealing and it's pending. The entire scope of the grand jury probe in Albany, Dana, is unclear. Grand juries are secretive. What we've learned from these well-placed sources, it stems from a recent strike force set up inside the Justice Department to investigate an alleged plot to tie Trump to Russia in 2016. Sources say that strike force has expanded to other topics. Now, to recap, the Justice Department has initiated grand jury proceedings in Albany, New York, against the Empire State Attorney General Letitia James. But remember, this is important. A grand jury simply decides if there's enough evidence to indict. To be clear, we are told this is very early in the process, and no one, as I speak to you right now, is facing any charges at this time. Fox News reached out to Attorney General James's office multiple times, but we've yet to hear back.
So now you've got Tish James. You've got a grand jury impaneled in Virginia. You've got a grand jury impaneled in Albany, one for mortgage fraud, one, and actually that grand jury there might be a separate one in New York, because there are 3 cases of mortgage fraud that Tish James is currently being investigated for. One, she claimed her Virginia home was her primary residence. In a signed, sworn affidavit on her mortgage application, multiple times she claimed that it was her primary residence, which it cannot be, because she is legally required to live in the state of New York. She's legally required to live in the city of New York. So that cannot have been her primary residence. That was a lie. That was fraud. That was federal mortgage fraud. Now, she's got 2 other cases of basically property or mortgage fraud. One, where she claimed that her father was her husband, and then there's the case of her 5-unit tenement building in New York, where she has multiple times claimed is only 4 units, even though investigators have gone out. They have noted that there are 5 doorbells, there are 5 separate units, there are 5 electrical meters, there are 5 certificates of occupancy. So she did that one. Involves state, not only state, it involves federal mortgage fraud, but also state. So there could be even another grand jury. But this is absolutely amazing stuff. So now Pam Bondi, when she created Operation Strike Force, essentially to go find all of the nooks and crannies of the Trump-Russia collusion nonsense. We could have probably predicted this, that they were going to start to find how the tentacles of the Russia collusion wormed their way into all of the other lawfare. We talked about this, all the other lawfare against Trump. And now it looks like there may even be links to that. And that has opened up new veins of investigation, because there's now new information on Tish James' persecution of Trump in Manhattan, specifically around the civil case she brought for Trump's property dealings. Remember that Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, a sophisticated property development organization, went to private banks. None of this is underwritten by any federal mortgage rules or laws or subsidies or anything. So there's nothing federal. There's nothing legal in here from a federal perspective. They went to private banks and said, hey, we want to borrow money for a real estate development. Those private commercial banks are required to do their own due diligence. As part of that, they asked the organization that's requesting the loan to produce financial statements. Not only, audited financial statements, but also balance sheets and other statements of other assets. And when Trump submitted his other assets, he submitted all of his property holdings, one of which was Mar-a-Lago, which he valued, I forget the exact number, but he valued at 100 million, and Tish James said it was only worth 18, whereas when you actually talk to me, they're like, no, it's worth probably $1 billion based on the land it sits on. So, and Trump even said when he submitted those, you are required to do your own due diligence, which those banks are. So Tish James didn't have any leg to stand on to file a fraud civil case against the Trump Organization, yet she did. And then you've got the entire Twinkies Bragg investigation into business records, misstatements. This all goes back to the strike force, where they're finding out that these things were not random. They were not. They were pre-planned. It goes back to the old broader conspiracy. Now, and the reason we can say this is because remember that Tish James actually campaigned on this stuff. So here's the news article that talks about this. So the new investigation and the grand jury in Albany that are subpoenaing James are subpoenaing them specifically around her department's $454 million civil fraud case against Trump. And it's clips like this that got people talking in the first place. And this is going to lead to James's demise. Check this out. A blast from the past.
Will you sue him for us? Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We need to focus on Donald Trump. We need to follow his money. What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
This illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
She literally said, I'm going to spend every day going to sue a U.S. citizen and then going home at night. That is not your job as Attorney General. Your job is to uphold the law. So there in that clip, you can see the absolute unhinged TDS with which Tish James came into office against Trump. Check this one out.
Patterns to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We've studied their platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution.
This is not revenge, Tish James. This is not revenge. This is justice for everything that you did against Trump, and now finding out everything that you did in your personal and professional life that is absolutely a violation of the law. One last piece of this. We now know that Pam Bondi has appointed Ed Martin as the special prosecutor investigating both Schiff and James for mortgage fraud. And he is also potentially will be the special prosecutor for her against her office for deprivation of rights, just as Mike Davis predicted months ago that we would put her PHAT in prison. It looks like it just might be happening. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. We got great stuff for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know you're here as we try to get back on top of the YouTube algorithm. We got another story for you, which is great stuff. Everybody hates Tish James. Yep. Also, everybody hates ghetto Jasmine Crockett. Check this out. This is amazing stuff as we find out more and more about the Texas representative who looks like she's headed for losing her job with the redistricting. But get this is amazing stuff.
Texas, what are y'all doing? Are y'all really proud of the representation y'all getting from Jasmine Crockett? I'm serious. Are y'all proud at the way Jasmine Crockett carries herself in Congress? Jasmine Crockett is a racist, trashy, ghetto piece of mess. Yep, I said it. Y'all get mad at me all y'all want. I stand 10 toes down on what I said. I said it, I meant it. She's a ghetto, trashy, racist piece of crap. Jasmine Crockett's mouth is completely filthy to be in Congress. For her to be representing the American people, her mouth is filthy. She don't even know when to cut it off. I don't care what she say at home and how she talk at home, but when you're in Congress representing the people of the United States of America, representing the people of your district, you should know how to act and how to control yourself. Her mouth is ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. My mouth can be ridiculous sometimes, but I'm not in Congress. I'm not representing a certain district of people who put me in office. And you can best believe if I was, I would know how to act and how to carry myself. Even if you disagree with someone, you should know how to carry yourself. Jasmine Crockett is a piece of ghetto trash. And I'm so sick of y'all out here telling myself, oh, Jasmine Crockett is a strong black woman. Jasmine Crockett don't take no mess. Oh, Jasmine Crockett, she'll tell you off. Jasmine Crockett is a ghetto piece of trash who do not know how to control herself or do not know how to act in Congress. And it is what it is. I mean, are y'all really proud of this? Women, are we? Is this what represent us? Are these the type of women that we want representing us in Congress? I'm serious. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Latino. I don't care what you are. Is this what you want representing us as women? And stop lumping all us black women up together, acting like we agree with this bull crap that Jasmine Crockett doing, because we don't. Jasmine Crockett is a man. Texas, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing, Texas?
Oh, that woman cracks me up. She is absolutely right. Jasmine Crockett is ghetto through and through. Unfortunately, she didn't used to be. When she first got elected to Congress, she spoke normal. She's clearly educated. She went to rich high schools. She grew up with money. She grew up with means. She grew up the privileged life. But she thinks because she managed to put herself into a district, a gerrymandered wacko district, that basically allowed her to get elected from the inner city of Dallas, which guarantee you she does not live there. Now she thinks that she has to, that by going with the ghetto shtick, that A, it's going to help her keep her seat, and B, it helps her with her other real desire, which is to be an influencer. She wants to be a YouTube TikTok star. That's what we're finding out. She has no real desire to be a true legislator. No, she wants to be famous. And it also comes out that not only does she have a nasty mouth, not only is she dumb as a box of rocks, but now come to find out she is abusive, she's lazy. Check this out from people within her own staff. This is amazing stuff coming out about Jasmine Crockett. It's so true, though, because this is basically all leftists when you find out. Jasmine Crockett, according to her staff, is lazy, disengaged, entitled, and mean to her staff. Dems definitely have a type. Yes, the same thing as Kamala Harris, the same thing as Hillary Clinton. Oops, I didn't. Let me share this. Here it is from Calico Jack. Now, here's the article that backs that up. Check this out. So, Trump-hating Jasmine Crockett has a work-shy nightmare, who screams at staff and dreams of going viral. All diva. Rising dramatic Democrat star Jasmine Crockett has been accused of screaming at staff, making an aide cry, opting to work from home rather than in Congress, and being rude. She's 44, has quickly rocketed into an outsized role in the Democrat Party. She is a cable news mainstay on the Communist News Network and MSDNC. But three sources that worked with or for Crockett have revealed to the New York Post that working for the congressman is a nightmare. From making staff cry to hardly showing up to work on Capitol Hill, spilling the tea on what the left's rising star is really like. She's lying around her apartment. She won't come into the office and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them. She is never in the office and is very disengaged. She does her BS that goes viral and then freaks out at the most random thing. Interesting. So now you've got even the staff turning on Jasmine. Everybody hates Jasmine Ghetto Crockett. Check this out from Laura Ingraham.
Oh, how noble and sacrificial of her. Which is the real Jasmine Crockett, though? Well, the call for public service came and Jasmine answered. But back to that Atlantic profile, they saw something else in Crockett, a raging narcissism. And for a woman who claims to be so tough, she has exceedingly thin skin. They described her as highly conscious of her self-presentation. Crockett wore acrylic nails painted with the word resist, and a set of heavy lashes over her brown eyes. The lock screen on her phone is a headshot of herself. And Crockett apparently thinks she should be able to control.
Deeply narcissistic. Oh my God.
Control to whom a journalist speaks when they're actually reporting a profile. 4 days before this story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I'd reached out to so many House members without telling her first. She told me, shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions.
You can't shut down a profile. And you can't stop a journalist, someone who's actually doing journalism stuff, from reaching out to your coworkers and saying, hey, I'm doing a profile on Jasmine Crockett. What's she like? If you are that bad, if your reputation is that horrible, Crockett, maybe you shouldn't be a congressman.
Yeah. And yet another gem that speaks to Crockett's highly racialized view of the world from the same profile. Crockett said that Hispanic Trump supporters had almost like a slave mentality. I asked Crockett whether she had ever regrets about her public comments. She raised her eyebrows and replied, I don't second guess. You know how that ends. Well, bless her heart. Now, she may be a...
Oh, man. So this is Jasmine Crockett to a T. And just so you can hear it in her own words, her highly racialized view of the world, you can check out the fake eyelashes, the ridiculous, the whole 9 yards, the whole shtick is right here on display. You can check it out for yourself. Here she is, ghetto queen, Jasmine Crockett herself.
Where we were talking about how many voters. Listen, when you're counting people, you're not just counting voters. You count children, don't you?
Correct.
You count a lot of people that aren't necessarily voters. And I want to make sure that we really get to the nitty-gritty on Texas, because this is hilarious to me. Texas added 2 seats. In 2020, according to the census, and we know that there was a significant undercount, specifically in Texas, for a combination of reasons.
We know there was a significant undercount in red states. That's already been revealed by the census's own audit. Hence, one of the reasons why Trump, in an unrelated story, wants to redo the census, because they know it was rigged. They know that blue states were inflated and red states were denigrated. That's from the Census Bureau's own audit report.
But we know that specifically Texas added 4 million people. Of those 4 million people, do you want to take a guess at how many were Anglos? Just a guess.
I'd say a majority.
180,000. That's it, of 4 million. 95% of the people that were added. And we know that when it comes to minority populations, they tend to be undercounted.
That's just utterly farcical and absurd. Texas added 4 million people, of which 100,000 define, this all goes back to definition, define Anglo, it's absolutely incredulous and ridiculous.
So get this, we added 4 million people. They were people of color. Texas got 2 new seats. So they took those black and brown and Asian bodies, and guess what? Do you think that we got a new black, brown, or Asian seat? Somehow the way...
Well, since a lot of them probably were illegals, they're not allowed to vote, ghetto Jasmine Crockett, but you certainly want them to vote, don't you?
That they do their Republican math in the state of Texas, that amounted to 2 new white seats. Guess what? White Republican seats. We got 2 new Republican seats out of 4 million people of color.
You got 2 Republican seats in a Republican state. You're the only one who racialized, not you. You're the only one in this conversation, Jasmine Crockett, that is racializing districts, that is racializing the vote. This is who these people are. They are utterly woke. They are utterly beyond the pale. They racialize everything. They balkanize everything. Everything to them is white versus black, gay versus straight. It's cultural Marxism to a T. And ghetto Jasmine Crockett, the low IQ individual, is right front and center as a spokesperson for this. And thank God that when Texas gets this redistricting done, all indications are she is out of a job, that she will not be able to win in the current district where she is, because that district will change and it will no longer be a highly racialized Democrat district. It will be a district that is across party and demographic lines, and in a state that is plus 10 Republican, almost guarantee you she will not win. If that alone was the reason for Texas to redistrict, get it done tomorrow. If the only thing is we get rid of Jasmine Crockett, it is all worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Want to give a couple shout outs. Kimmy Gibson is in the house. Tracy Benna, Carter Benton, Chris Human in the house. The Trump train is on the move. That is right. Tracy Benna, many conservative creators are talking about Ron Rush. Yes, they are. She's just the gift that keeps on giving from sound bites. Hey, really appreciate everybody being here. Remember that God is good and he is sovereign. It'll all be good in the end. Please smash that like button for me. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel, and please share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. Until I catch you next time.